Welcome to the TT eSports by Thermaltake overview on NCIX Tech Tips, where we'll be having a look at some of the cool products from TT eSports, including their keyboards. Most exceptionally, this guy right here, the NUKUR, which features a unique plunger key switch. It's not quite a membrane key in the traditional sense. It's not a mechanical key, and it has a bit of a different feel to it. We've also got a few mice, including their BMW designed level 10 mouse, and a headset and some mouse pads to show you guys. We're going to start with the Challenger, which has what Thermaltake calls obsessional lighting, meaning you can change the colors to pretty much whatever you want. 14 macro keys, dedicated media control buttons, built-in headphone and microphone jack, so it's got a USB sound card integrated into it. It also has a USB hub integrated. However, watch out guys, because there's a limit to how much power a single USB port can provide. So between the hub and the onboard sound and the LED lighting that's built into it, you got to make sure you don't plug in any super high draw devices in those ports in the hub. It has built-in cable management and a detachable cable, which is great for improved durability. It's also braided, so your cat is less likely to chew through it. And this is probably the kicker for this one, the built-in fan that cools your hand while you game. It can be mounted on the left, it can be mounted on the right, and it can be stored in the back of the keyboard when you're on your way to a LAN or wherever else you happen to be going. The Challenger also includes actually a really nice carrying case. Very rugged feeling. You can either carry it by the handle or the included shoulder strap. Which brings us to the NUKUR. This is a very unique keyboard. It uses what's called a plunger switch. It has a nice cyan look to the overall key printing, all right? It's got some other cool features, including being able to change the repeat rate using function F1 to F4, anything from 1x to 8x, and it has a dedicated button to light up the battle dragon at the bottom of the keyboard. But the NUKUR, okay, these key switches are really unique. They are supposed to give a lighter feedback than a mechanical switch, so a lighter button press with a faster response, which is one of the advantages of membrane. They pop right back up with more of a tactile bump feel. In practice, is it as good as mechanical? The answer is no. In practice, is it better than most membrane key switches? Subjectively, I would say the answer is yes. I've spent a little bit of time with the NUKUR and I kind of went, oh, this is a compromise. It doesn't have the same durability, 15 million key presses versus 50 million for Cherry MX switches, but if you're willing to pony up for Cherry MX switches, maybe you want to look at this next keyboard. The Meka G-Unit is a fully mechanical gaming keyboard, meaning that it comes in at a bit of a higher price point than the other stuff, but it also has that sexy mechanical sound and feel. So it uses MX black switches from Cherry, and it has a number of other things that kind of set it apart. So it's got 12 macro keys on the left side that can be programmed with up to 3 layers of functionality. It's also got 8 other macro keys that you can program elsewhere on the keyboard. It has built-in media controls, a built-in backlight, which can be adjusted to a number of different levels, and it has Thermaltake software, which allows you to control all of this stuff on the fly. On the back of the keyboard, you've got, yes, another detachable USB cable with braiding so that it's not going to get damaged, a built-in USB 2 hub, and built-in audio ports. You've got a game mode, which disables that pesky Windows key should you so desire it, and a detachable wrist rest that actually doesn't come off that easily, which is kind of nice. So it has support braces here that keep it from just kind of flimsily flopping about like I have an older keyboard, a Logitech G15 Gen 1. This thing's ancient, where the wrist rest just comes off as soon as you pick the keyboard up off your desk. Not going to happen with this guy here. And I want to give you some idea how it packs up into the case. So I mean, this is great because the last thing you want to do is damage your keyboard when you're going to a gaming event or whatever else. So there's one pouch for the wrist rest itself. All right. Then you've got a separate pouch for the keyboard. And finally, you tuck your USB cable in there, zip it up, and it is fully protected. Feels good too. Now, it's really not very often that I encounter designed in collaboration with gamer peripherals that genuinely look like they were designed in collaboration with the gamer. Starting over here, we've got the White Raw Special Tactics mouse pad, which has a very unique feel to it. It's a rough cloth mouse pad, so it's going to have the durability of cloth, but it actually feels more like a rough plastic mouse pad in terms of the resistance moving a mouse across it, but it isn't loud. I actually really like this one. And then we've also got the Saphira mouse. So this is, again, designed in collaboration with White Raw so he can perform his special tactics, and marketing blurbs aside, when I hold this mouse, it's not very comfortable for me. So the assumption I made was, oh, okay, so it's for people with big hands. No, I think it's specifically made for White Raw because the spacing of the thumb buttons, you look at his hands in the picture, he has long thumbs. And I kind of went, oh, that makes sense. It's actually designed in collaboration with a pro gamer. So it's got a bunch of other features. So it's got your back and forward buttons. It's got a rubberized grip on the side for DPI level indicators. And then other than that, it's quite plain. So it looks like he likes a very plain mouse because there's no reason why, with all the other buttons they integrated on the bottom, they couldn't have put them on the top, but it looks like he wants things out of his way. So on the bottom, we find a function lock. So he apparently even wants the ability to turn off the functionality of the side buttons. Also, a DPI switch, so you can change on the fly. Now, I personally think on the fly is a little tough to call a button that's on the bottom of the mouse, but there you go. It's got a polling rate changer on the bottom, as well as a profile changer, so you can store multiple profiles on the onboard memory on the mouse. It has very large polyfluorotetraethylene, or polytetra, whatever it is, slippy pads on the bottom of the mouse, so they shouldn't wear out too quickly, and it has a removable weight cartridge that has 5 4.5 gram weights in the back of the mouse, and you can adjust those to your heart's content. Which brings us to the Theron mouse. This one is designed in collaboration with a different pro gamer and has a very different feel to it. This one, for me, is actually comfortable to hold because it looks like it's designed for someone with smaller hands. So here we've got forward and back buttons on the left side of the mouse, a DPI indicator, 2 more programmable buttons on the top, scroll wheel, another button on the right-hand side of the mouse, and check this out, we've also got the ability to lock and unlock the functionality, change the profile, and change the polling rate on the fly, along with an adjustable weight system on the bottom that works slightly differently from the other one. Actually looks really cool when the weights are loaded in there. So the cool thing about this is that Softball's mouse looks distinctly and feels distinctly like a mouse that was designed for someone other than White Raw's mouse. And both of the mouse pads come with cool little carrying cases. So actually the one that comes with the White Raw is kind of nicer. It's really nice. And I think that this approach gives an advantage because you can find a pro gamer whose style you like, and you can actually find what they use and use it the way that they do. So I personally would probably lean towards Softball's mouse because he evidently has smaller hands just like mine, versus White Raw's, which might be better for someone more like Slick, who has large hands. I'm gonna wrap up with a couple more products here. This is the Shock 1. This is the USB version. There's an analog version as well if you already have a sound card you want to use. It's got a nice braided cable. It's got a boom mic, which most headsets do. And it's got a very lightweight design, which leads us to this guy right here. If you're still with us, this is the Level 10M mouse co-designed with BMW. So that's why it has a very unique look to it. On the top of the mouse, you will find the usual mouse features such as a left and right click and a mouse wheel. You've also got a nice sort of racing stripe down the middle here, which makes it go much faster, as well as ventilation holes here, which make your hand run cooler. There's 2 little adjustable bits here, and it comes with a key for that. So you can change the angle of the mouse slightly, and you can also raise or lower the back according to your tastes for your grip. It has 2 side buttons on the right side, 2 side buttons on the left side, as well as a DPI profile switching button on the back. It has a bit of weight to it because the bottom is a unibody aluminum bottom with slippy pads, and it has a very, very striking look to it. Very, very cool. Thank you for checking out this episode of NCIX Tech Tips. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX.com.